now the death toll has surpassed 100 from the Texas floods. The trail of devastation includes 27 campers and counselors from Camp Mystic, where 10 girls and a counselor are still missing along the Guadalupe River. Questions swirl about whether weather manipulation or National Weather Service cuts played a role as locals and officials clash over forecast accuracy, per CNN. Welcome to Christy Lee's DC Dispatch. As far as the weather manipulation angle, do not miss Get Free with Christy Lee this evening as I'm talking to the lead researcher for Geoengineering Watch, who'll be breaking down why he thinks we've seen an uptick in devastating natural disasters and how weather manipulation might have played a role in the Texas flooding. Coming up, we're also going to be bringing you highlights from Trump's major cabinet meeting held just a bit over an hour ago. But first, the Trump administration is still under fire for the Epstein file flop, outrage erupting as Attorney General Pam Bondi faces calls to resign over the DOJ's shocking decision to close the Jeffrey Epstein case. A leaked memo reveals no evidence of a client list or blackmail, contradicting Bondi's earlier claims, leaving conservative influencers like Laura Loomer and Liz Wheeler furious, demanding her ouster per Just the News. Lindell TV's Allison Steinberg is live in D.C. with the latest in what appears to be an Epstein cover-up. Allison.
Hey, Christy, great to see you. Oh, are we connected?
Yes, we are connected. It was a little glitchy there, but we're back.
Okay, great. I just want to, so the Epstein story is definitely away. Conservatives still outraged over, the dismissal of this, right? We know what we think went on, and there is tons of evidence. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem that the administration is really doing a thorough investigation as we were put that they would. And now the plot thickens as just moments ago, a cabinet meeting that's being held right now, right behind me, there was a question that was asked about Jeffrey and the DOJ's conclusion on the issue. In fact, the question was directed at Pam Bondi, but President Trump decided, and it was almost outraged that anyone would dare ask a question about Jeffrey. We have the clip. It's kind of a long one, but I want you guys to see the full transpiring of what happened here. So let's take a listen to that.
Yeah, sure.
Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively, the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
Allison, obviously Trump seems coming off a bit tone deaf there and saying, like, why are we even talking about this? I mean, this is something that he mentioned in campaign speeches frequently that we would have the full information on Epstein. So I really don't think that this is doing him any favors.
I certainly don't think it is either, and it's very disappointing that this is ultimately what we're left with. I mean, I Trump a little bit more to what the MAGA base was talking about and discussing, and what conversations were being on social media. He seemed totally caught off guard by this, totally surprised if that was an authentic reaction. I don't know. Maybe he is just trying to sweep it all under the rug and make this story as fast as possible for us. I don't know, but it really is and concerning that we're just sort of expected to believe that this is it. This is sufficient. Case closed. Don't more questions. So it's not right, and we know there's so much more to this. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein's own brother has publicly stated that his brother did not commit suicide. So, and then of course there's all the camera footage, the missing footage, and then most recently even James O'Keefe, of course, did a huge expose discussing the speed dial in Jeffrey Epstein's home, not on speed dial. So that itself a list of. The fact that this is just being dismissed is absurd. I think we actually, I'm sorry, James O'Keefe, rather, if we want to play that clip of the speed dial, listen to this.
Inside Epstein's bedroom, O'Keefe Media Group continues our exclusive tour of the private island formerly owned by the alleged sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, and looking inside each of the buildings on the island. Today we're going to bring you inside Jeffrey Epstein's bedroom. We've previously shown you the kitchen and the library, but in Epstein's bedroom, we've made our most dramatic discovery yet. Landline telephones that show pre-programmed speed dial buttons labeled with names. You see the phones on the side of the bedroom tables here. We're going to take a look at these phones and the names on them. But first, the room itself, sparsely furnished. On the desk, you see what's known as a phrenology skull. Phrenology is a debunked pseudoscience linking skull shape to personality traits. On one bedside table, you see a notepad that says Little St. James, that's the name of the island, printed at the bottom of each page, and a set of reading glasses of similar type worn by Epstein in deposition footage. The most striking detail, we see a Panasonic console phone on each bedside table. The multiple lines are labeled. The speed dial buttons bear the names of Epstein's staff and associates. These are the individuals Epstein called most frequently from his private island. Nobody has ever seen these before. We assume the FBI and the Department of Justice has these, but have not released it. Here you have NY office. That's Jeff Epstein's New York City office. This is Karina Shuliak, Epstein's last girlfriend. Darren Off, that's Darren Indike, an Epstein advisor and lawyer. You have Rich Office, that's Richard D. Kahn, Epstein's advisor and lawyer. And Patrick Sell, that's Patrick McMullen, an Epstein associate. And STC Office, that's the Special Tax Office of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Here we have another phone that was actually in a different room, but we see some of the same names and some new names. We see a Carlos, a Danny, which looks to be scribbled out with Kim written above it, a Mike, an Anna, and a Juggly. Now, what's interesting about Juggly is at first we thought it was Ghislaine Maxwell's nickname, but from what we could see online, her nickname, Epstein referred to her as G-Max. Don't know who Juggly is, but maybe you in the audience can help us solve.
So, I mean, we have a list of sorts there. I don't know why this isn't being further looked into. I mean, the fact that Pam Bondi just says is no list is despicable and really a slap in the face to America. We know there's a list, and we know that there is information that's not being given over. If this is a transparent administration, like we discussed yesterday on your show, Christy, then they should be more to provide us the documentation, provide us with the records, and show us what we still have not seen, which is the truth. They're obviously concealing it, and this is obviously a massive cover-up. For what reason? I don't know. I thought Trump had our best interest at heart. I thought he wanted to be transparent and truthful, but this is deeply concerning to me, and that they are trying to just sweep this under the rug now. It doesn't really sit well with me, and I know that's probably the case with many other Americans at this point as well.
Yeah, and obviously we know there are many Trump fans out there, many fans of the MAGA agenda, but it is our responsibility to hold people to account, no matter what side they're on, and do what the legacy media wouldn't, be critical, even when perhaps someone is quote unquote on our team. There's so many thoughts going through my mind right now, Allison. This reeks of a cover-up. Very disappointed in Trump, his reaction. I don't think that will be received well. And another thought that comes to mind is you have Pam Bondi's weak response there. And, James O'Keefe said that he had this bomber of something that he was going to release, like, pray for me. I could be dead. There was some leaking about Pam Bondi, but it was just like a nothing burger, like her talking about something. And it makes you wonder if there was more, and that if he got shut up, because there was this ramp up and then not really much coming out of O'Keefe. Although, we do see the speed dial. There's so many questions, and both you and I sat there and listened to Caroline Levitt say, we're going to be transparent. Well, there's still so much hidden. They're not talking about the speed dial thing that you're talking about. They're not talking about, she just quickly mentions there was other evidence besides the video. The 1 minute is blah, blah, blah. But there's evidence that precedes that he committed suicide. Okay, so where is it? Where is the compelling evidence? And why is that being hidden? How does that have anything to do with child pornography? Why were cameras shut off? Why did some of the officers fall asleep? I mean, there's just too many questions. And the best thing they could do is face this head on.
It's absolutely the best thing that they could do. And I really had high would, especially after the whole binder stunt that happened here at the White House, when there was so much backlash from that. It really just makes me think maybe they don't listen to their base as much as we think that they do. I mean, I hate to be a pessimist, but this just goes to show that they're not really in tune with what the MAGA base really cares about. I mean, this is a top issue that we've been talking about for years, and to just sort of dismiss it in the way that they have been in the past couple of days is very upsetting, especially when Pam Bondi, said that she was reviewing all this evidence, and Trump has talked about this on the campaign trail. To treat us like we are in the wrong for asking these questions is wrong in and of itself. And I can't believe that they would think that a bunch of, MAGA diehards that are dead set on the truth, regardless of, who that benefits, right, would not continue to ask questions and seek to truth in all of this. This is ultimately what we do. We are doing our own research at this point, digging into stories that are often overlooked by the mainstream media because we don't anymore. So we have to do the work ourselves. That's why outlets like Lindell TV exist, and others that, actually tell the truth. That's why we're here, because we haven't gotten the truth from the mainstream media. So for this administration to sort of now, it's extremely upsetting, and it makes you wonder, is there something nefarious happening that they're trying to cover up here on their own part? I don't know. I would like to think the best, but this is also an issue too with the immigration issue too, right? Because Trump was saying there was going to be no amnesty for illegals, campaigned on mass deportations, and now we've seen him sort of waver on that, saying, "Oh no, we're actually going to allow, hotel workers and farmers to stay. They're good people. They don't need to be thrown out." He's gone back and forth on this issue, 3 or 4 times now. Now they're back to saying that they are not going to have amnesty for them. It's very hard to keep up with it all. But there was actually this clip today from Secretary Brooke Rollins saying they're no longer allowing amnesty. Take a listen.
There will be no amnesty. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way, and we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. Thank you.
Yeah, it kind of
So
gives you
that's
whiplash. We've
good.
been kind of back and forth, and whiplash, and even if they're listening to the base, because when he said that there was going to be, then there was a loud outcry from people saying, no, this is not what we voted for, and so then he reversed, and then he went back, and so man, I don't even know what's going on, but I know you're continuing to dig into this. That's all the time that we have with you, Allison, right now. But don't worry, Allison's going to be coming right back on here for continued Lindell TV White House coverage, and she'll have more on the immigration angle and the celebration of violence on the left, and really ramping up these attacks on ICE agents and more. So you'll be seeing Allison in a little bit. But with that, Allison, thank you so much for that conversation. And we are going to take a quick break. When we return, we are going to be talking about holding Maha accountable, what Maha is doing, and at the end of the day, how to take health into your own hands. But that's after this quick break.
Whether it's being a weekend warrior or spending time with your family, feeling your best is the key to doing the things you love. That's why I'm excited to tell you about Nirvanta. It's a natural solution designed to help you stay active and live well naturally. Nirvanta is a topical blend of all natural essential oils like frankincense, myrrh, and a proprietary gold standard plant stock extract. It's perfect for your hands, feet, knees, back, or anywhere else that needs a little extra care. Use Nirvanta proactively as part of your daily maintenance routine, and you're guaranteed you're going to feel the difference. Simply massage Nirvanta in for at least 60 seconds, 2 to 3 times a day to get the best results. And if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back. No questions asked. There's simply no risk and no reason not to try Nirvanta today. Right now, you get 15% off with code Lindell exclusively at nirvantahealth.com. So stop reaching out for that medicine cabinet. Get Nirvanta instead and experience the difference. Go to nirvantahealth.com. Use code Lindell to get 15% off today. Nirvanta Health. Live well naturally.
As Allison and I were just talking about, we are so done with all of the gaslighting. It's been coming from everywhere. Man, we've been lied to about everything. MSM is now exposing Biden's mental decline effort was all too apparent to the rest of us while it was happening. And now the legacy media experts are trying to rewrite history about reaction to COVID-19. Take a listen to CNN's golden boy, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, what he's saying now as opposed to back then. Watch.
What I think was unfortunate, frankly, and this was a communications problem, was that they seemed to also intimate that it would protect you from getting COVID at all, from carrying it. And there was not great evidence behind that. And, we reported as such that you don't have great evidence that shows that. When you have a vaccine that's protecting against illness, it's usually protecting in your lower respiratory, in your lungs. So you're not getting that really, really sort of a deep illness, but you might still have it in your mucosa, in your mouth, in your nose, in your upper airway. So you could potentially still be carrying it and still potentially spread it. That was, I think, a communications error. And I think, frankly, Governor, I think it led to a lot of distrust overall of these mRNA vaccines. You said I couldn't get COVID if I got this. Well, I got COVID and I spread it. So what is this? Is this a vaccine or is it not a vaccine? That was a problem.
What I would say is that the science, I think, has been clear for some time on not only how well these vaccines work, as you alluded to, but also how well they protect you, how well they work in terms of preventing you from getting sick, but also how well they work in terms of preventing you from becoming infected, and most importantly and most recently, how well they work in terms of making it unlikely you would pass the infection on to someone else. You remember, Jake, you say, well, I'm vaccinated. Why do I continue to wear a mask? Why do I need that? Well, the idea was that maybe you could be an unwitting carrier, a silent carrier of the virus still.
Isn't that rich? You hear him talking about like, oh, I think a mistake was made with the messaging out there, as if he wasn't complicit in that. When here you go, here's your reminder. You were the one saying basically that if you got the vaccination, you couldn't, it would be very unlikely for you to get or transmit. And then he comes just this month of this year, acting as if, oh, that was other people, that they're to blame for the bad messaging. It's just all so sick. Here to discuss is David Macari. He is from All Family Pharmacy. And, at the end of the day, we need to take our health into our own hands. But welcome to the show, David. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. So what do you think about that? They're trying to rewrite history.
Well, it's unfortunate. People's health, obviously, and this is part of our mantra here at All Family Pharmacy, is to be able to have total control with your medication and your health within yourself. Not to have restrictions, not to have limitations, but to be able to make choices and to have options that you yourself and amongst with your physician make the best choice and choices available that are best for you and your health.
And that's going to be more important than ever, especially since MAHA has come into so much resistance. The latest is that even though there have been efforts to quelch the use of the clot shot, as I like to call it, the COVID-19 shot, even though there's now what seems to be an acknowledgement that it never worked as advertised by even Dr. Sanjay Gupta, you have these major medical groups that are suing the HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the Trump administration health leaders over the COVID-19 vaccine policy changes. They really want to, as much as possible, continue to try and pressure, coerce folks into getting this arbitrary shot that many studies are now showing, especially in children, is doing more harm. The risk reward benefit is off. What do you think about that new development?
It's unfortunate that so many groups and businesses, and including government, and insurance companies, like to have total control, get their hands involved for whatever their agenda is, and most likely a lot of it is for financial gain and financial reasons. But it's a shame because there are things out there for the American people, the public, and their health and wellness. And if things are available and we know that they're safe, effective medications, why not let us have our own choice and our own right to be able to choose so? Why do they have the right to tell us what should and should not be covered, what medications are covered, what tests and procedures are covered, what insurance companies are going to pay for, what they're not going to pay for? It really should rest on our own hands. And we as the patients should have our own choice to decide which route is best for us and our health.
Yeah, to that note, there is now a petition to make ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine over the counter, just to be able to ask for it and get it, not have to need a prescription. You think that there will be any headway in making these true miracle drugs more readily available?
Yeah, eventually, I think it will. Unfortunately, right now, as I just mentioned, Big Pharma and some of the other companies, and again, for their own financial reasons or other reasons possibly, that they want to, not allow that to happen. But I do think eventually we have seen so many medications, the list is endless, that started out as prescription only and that now is available over the counter OTC listing. So there's nothing wrong with that. We all know that the drugs have been FDA approved. They're all safe and effective. It's just we always want to make sure, even as a pharmacist for many, many years, we always want to make sure that we do no harm with these medications, or that they're being misdosed or misappropriated for its indication when it does become over the counter. We want to make sure that it is being used for the right reason, by the right dose, for the right patient. So we always want to keep that in mind when things go over the counter.
So tell me how that works with All Family Pharmacy, because it's not over the counter right now. And so folks do need help in a non-tyrannical way, and they can turn to All Family Pharmacy. Tell me how that works.
Okay, great. Thank you for asking that question. We make it so simple and so easy. First and foremost, yes, as you had just mentioned, it is still a prescription, these medications. But We have physicians on board here. You can use your own pharmacy, your own prescription. If you have that from your doctor, our pharmacy here can transfer, get the new prescription, whatever needs to be done. But we do need a prescription. We have physicians here that could help out and get you the medication if they feel that it's necessary and needed for your condition. And we can get it out, very, very quickly. We have our staff is readily available anytime to take care of your needs. We have phenomenal staff, support help, customer service for the phones. We take care of your needs as quickly and as soon as possible.
What can you tell me about the special deal going on with Lindell TV right now?
Okay. Thanks for asking. Right now we have a special. It's called the BOGO, using that term that everybody's familiar with, buy one, get one free, on the medications for hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, and mebendazole. So those medications, we have a full list of all other maintenance meds and other products. Everything can be done online at allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. So again, allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. And it automatically brings you to our BOGO. And everything else on our website will explain maintenance meds, other conditions and disease states that you necessarily may need for you or your loved one. So we have everything here. We're fully licensed and registered pharmacy, and we take care of, throughout the United States very, very quickly and easily and professionally.
I want to really encourage my friends that are watching right now. I consider all viewers to be my friends, to really consider the time that we're in, not just for this sale, the buy one get one sale, but we just had another natural disaster. There's debate on that, but this extreme weather events, these extreme events are happening more and more, and so I just think it's an important reminder that you cannot keep putting off preparedness. And health is the biggest thing that you need to be ready for anything to happen. You need to be healthy. And so I really want to encourage our preppers, get on top of this. Don't put it off any longer. Go to All Family Pharmacy /Lindell, allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. This helps support the network, getting truth out there. It helps support this incredible company that I'm sure has their own persecution that they have to worry about, because we all have to face persecution when we're trying to do the right thing and up against these powerhouses. And most important, putting your family first and doing it right now. Don't wait until oh shoot, I'm flooded out, or there's been communications down and now I have no access to the medications I need. Just give yourself peace of mind. Take care of it right now. Before I let you go, and I don't have much time left at all, I just wanted to get your opinion on, and maybe you don't have one, but quick opinion on PM Bondi. There's calls for her resignation, particularly with this Epstein fumble, but also she's been outed quite frequently as somebody that essentially worked for Big Pharma and is now resisting efforts to sue Pfizer. So any thoughts on PM Bondi?
Well, obviously, she's also from Florida, where we're located in Boca Raton, Florida. So we're familiar with her. And I like to look at people saying, everybody has, their job and their position, what they need to do. They also sometimes, and I feel bad, people say, oh, they're switching or changing. But I think sometimes if they realize that in their first choice, or they did something and they look back and say, now that I look at her, now I'm getting more information, I'm getting more knowledgeable in that area. Maybe I shouldn't have made that choice. Maybe I shouldn't have done that or that decision. So, I guess the test of time will show and tell us what direction, where she's going. And if it's, hopefully aligned with what we like, then it's okay. But
so we'll give her a little bit of more time. Hey, I got to wrap up again. allfamilypharmacy.com//Lindell. Make sure you go check that out and keep it here on White House Coverage Live on LindellTV.com.